Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Reeltv. On our show today, we will be discussing American Horror Story, and Connor Smith and Eric Dowling will be discussing The Walking Dead. So, I am Lindsay Lorifus.
And I am Ryan Mills.
And drumroll please, our discussion of American Horror Story. We've been waiting for this for so long,
the
and
third
we're
season.
super excited.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited for it. There's so much happening. I don't even know where to start.
It's overwhelming, seriously.
It really is. It's Coven, witches and voodoo and just everything just awesome in Salem. They're filming in New Orleans right now. Mm-hmm. So what are we gonna see?
Well, I think it's really interesting that they are filming in New Orleans because it has roots back in Salem, Massachusetts. So that's kind of a new take on that type of story. Yeah. And it's a different place from where they filmed in the past. Season 1 took place in California. Yeah. And season 2 was in New York. So it's exciting that they're really hopping around.
Yeah. And Ryan Murphy said that they built the house for season 1 and the asylum for season 2, so they're filming in a natural setting, so it's really interesting, I think. So, but I'm so excited for Jessica Lange, who plays Fiona Good, the head witch. That, oh my gosh, I just can't take it. How awesome is it going to be?
I think it's going to be really interesting to see her portray even her name, because Good is a last name. I find that really fascinating. Because she's a witch.
That's very true.
So it'll be interesting to see how that, comes into play. Is she a good witch?
That's a good point.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
She has her students there in the school. So Zoe, who was played by how do you say her?
Taissa
Farmiga. Yeah.
We're going to go with that.
Violet in season 1. So I'm glad that she's back, but I will forever know her as Violet and not Zoe. But so the pilot is Zoe gets sent to the school because her parents find out that she's a witch in some way, shape, or form. So she's there, and the students, Nan, Queenie, and Madison, they all try to basically kill her in some way. I think from what we'll see from the teaser later on. So it's pretty intense already. Yeah. And just crazy.
I know, I can't imagine going to a new school and being like, hey, let's kill you now.
Seriously, oh my gosh. Queenie, played by Gabrielle Sidibe. Jamie Brewer is Nan. She played Addie in season 1. And then Madison, played by Emma Roberts, which I think is very interesting. And then, of course, Evan Peters is back playing Kyle. I feel like out of all the names, that's a really simple name, no?
Yeah, that is very true.
He was Tate, and then what was his name for season 2? Do you remember that?
Oh my goodness, it's not even coming into mind because it was so bland.
Yeah, it's a simple name.
Yeah.
However, in this season though, he has a thing for Zoe, which they kind of had in season 1 when Tate and Violet were in season 1. Now Kyle and Zoe. I think it would be more interesting if it was Madison and Kyle as opposed to Zoe and Kyle. What do you think?
I totally agree, especially because Emma Roberts and Evan Peters are dating in real life.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of scandalous
how are they gonna do
they're
that?
all going to be on set together and having to spend so much time together, and that's kind of frustrating, seeing your boyfriend macking it with another girl. And
that's so true.
So it's kind of interesting. And then over the summer, there was a lot of tension between them because they were in a hotel together, and Emma got really angry and started beating him, and so there was a domestic violence call, and completely was just like dumbfounded when I heard about that.
That's crazy.
And, so because you think she's like this pristine, like cute little girl. She was on Nickelodeon and had her show there, and even her aunt Julia Roberts is amazing and all that.
Yeah,
and so it's interesting to see her transition into this type of role in American Horror Story. And she was in We're the Millers over the summer, and that was hysterical. And that was pretty raunchy for
that was really
her
funny.
past roles also. So it'll be really cool to see what she does.
Yeah, I thought she was kind of like an odd choice at first. I'm not sure like what the thought process was from Ryan Murphy or the other producers for the show, but I hope she works out. I mean, it looks like she will. Mm-hmm. So I mean, she should be quite interesting, I think.
She also looks a lot like Taissa, and I think that's an interesting thing when you have multiple actresses that look the same, and even actors, and how the audience figures out storylines then. And so it'll be interesting to see if maybe they trade places a lot, or they're polar opposites and things like that. So I'm excited to see where the storyline takes them.
Very true, yeah. Because Madison, her power is she's telekinetic. Nan is she can see the future. Then Queenie, she's the human voodoo doll, which is very interesting because Angela Bassett is the voodoo queen for season 3. So I'm very interested to see where this all goes. Plus Kathy Bates.
Yes!
Like, how awesome is that? Another Oscar winner, Kathy Bates. She's awesome, and she's a serial killer, so that's not far from Misery, right?
That's for sure.
That was a great movie.
Maybe she'll bring out another hammer and tackle some feet again.
We can only wish. Only wish.
So. Cross my fingers.
Right? Oh my gosh. So I'm just so excited for season 1.
Yes.
I hope for like random cameos and just bring like people back. I wanted Connie Britton back so bad, but she's doing Nashville.
McDermott.
So see, I don't know, like he was in like season 2 just briefly, and he had like a really weird role, but he's doing hostages, so I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll make a cameo in season 3. Who knows? And then I don't think Adam Levine will be back for season 3.
Probably not.
I found that kind of weird too, but he was like a huge fan of the show, so he wanted like some type of role for season 2. So we'll see where it goes, I guess.
It was nice that Ryan Murphy could offer him a role in it, hey, have your fun, but
be on the show.
Yeah.
Like for 2 or 3 episodes, was it?
Yeah.
Like flashbacks, I don't know, like
short.
2 or 3. So either way, I'm still really excited for season 3.
Yes, I'm super pumped for Patti LuPone to be on the show because she was a huge Broadway star and was so successful in Evita. And so it'll be nice to have someone from that side of theater and acting involved in it. So.
Right.
All right.
True.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
This Wednesday, October 9th at 10 p.m. on FX. It should be amazing premiere. Yes. I'm so excited.
Everyone has to watch it because it's going to be amazing. We're going to watch it together and have like a little party. So, everyone have parties and enjoy it, and tape yourselves watching it because I'm sure you'll have some pretty interesting reactions.
That would be really funny.
I know. Yeah. Post them. Be great.
Apparently I'm a witch. There's something I should have told you. There's a school there for girls like you. You'll be safe.
Idiots. The only thing you have to be afraid of is me. You girls need to learn to fight. When witches don't fight, we burn.
Welcome back to Reeltv. I'm Alyssa Curnow, and this is Connor Smith. And so Gravity premiered this weekend and grossed around $55 million.
It did.
I know you saw it. So
I did.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Gravity is without a doubt one of the most technically stunning and just all around awe-inspiring films I've seen all year. Essentially, it follows a biomedical engineer. Yeah, she's an engineer, she's an engineer, Sandra Bullock, and she's in space with George Clooney, who is on his last mission. Sandra Bullock's on her first mission. And together they're in space, and debris is sort of spiraling around the Earth after something with a missile. I don't really exactly remember, but so essentially Sandra Bullock is thrown out into space, and it follows sort of her journey about whether she will get back to Earth or whether she won't, or whether George Clooney will, and it sort of follows the two of them throughout this movie. And this is one, as I said, one of the most technically stunning films I've seen all year. I mean, almost as much so since Avatar, in that it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. The 3D is so immersive, and it's about the depth here. It's not about, it is a little gimmicky sometimes. They do reach out a little bit, but it's very much so immersive in that you really just get into it. You know what I mean? The visuals, as I said, were just stunning. The way that they sort of juxtapose the danger of being in space with sort of the beauty of Earth, and together, those two seamlessly just blend together, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous movie. And it's really an experience. It's really not as much so a movie here, because, again, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. I've seen it twice, and it's just as terrifying the second time. It's, you know what happens, but really it's still just as thrilling, just as scary. But then again, on the flip side, it's just as gorgeous. And the way that it portrays sort of the natural beauty of the Earth is indescribable. And a lot of things I love about this movie. I think the performances from George Clooney and Sandra Bullock are both fantastic.
I know you said, like, even though there's only two characters, it's
characters. Really, you're right. There are two characters, and they carry this whole movie. As well as, I would go as far as to say the score is a character in this film, because a lot of the times there's no dialogue, and the score moves this movie along. Okay. The score by Stephen Price is phenomenal. It's all I've been listening to for the past couple days. The film is directed by Alfonso Cuarón, who did Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and Children of Men, and he co-wrote it, he co-edited it, and it's just a mesmerizing movie. The way he handles it, I loved this movie. I would give it as much praise. It believed the hype because it's incredible. It's funny, you'll laugh. I mean, I didn't cry the first time, but the second time I did. I don't know why. See, that's the type of movie it is. The first time I just really liked it, but the second time I got even more into it than I did the first time.
So would you recommend watching it twice?
I would recommend watching it 100 times. I want to go see it again before it leaves theaters, because it's meant to be seen in 3D, and it demands to be seen in 3D. It's that type of movie. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Gravity, it's phenomenal. 4 out of 4 stars, as high as any star rating could go. It has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well deserves it. So go see Gravity.
Check it out.
It's awesome. And we'll be back with a discussion of The Walking Dead after the break. So see ya. Bye. Hey guys.
Welcome back to Reeltv. We already saw our discussion for American Horror Story Coven, whatever. Ryan Murphy's new show. Well, we're here to talk about another really exciting, dark, pessimistic, death-related, awesome drama. The Walking Dead on AMC, Sundays at 9, I believe is what they've changed the time to.
It starts this upcoming Sunday, 9 o'clock, as you said. When we left off, we were with Rick and the clan, and they were
There's also the Woodbury group as well.
Spoilers abound here, so obviously we're talking about the next season, so we're gonna talk about stuff that happened in the last season.
Right.
So catch up on Netflix, man. The governor got away.
He had a nice little showdown with Rick in the prison, but it wasn't as climatic as I would have hoped. It left a lot to be desired. I was really thinking that they would do, I know we've talked about this, sort of an location per season. Like season 1 was Atlanta / traveling. Season 2 was the farm. Season 3, prison. And then after that, you could move on. That's how it was in the comic books. I mean, it was like each volume. So every 5 issues of the comic book, it would be moving on to a new location. The group was never staying at a nice place, nice safe place for a long period of time. That's what made every part of it just so good. It's just the fact that they're always traveling, that constant fear of the zombies are coming after us, where are we going to sleep, what are we going to do, and all that. But
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. And I think, Andrea is dead. The governor's little henchman, the parrot on his shoulder, he's dead. What was his name? I forget.
Gabe is stuck in my mind.
His henchman, whatever, he's dead. But I agree with what you said, and I think that I'm
more
only
importantly, though, the governor's daughter is dead. That is, I think, the biggest thing to take away from season 3 is the revenge that the governor's going to want to take on Michonne for killing his daughter. Because, I mean, knowing what I know from the comic book doesn't necessarily give me an upper hand in the show. They've strayed so much. There are characters that are dead in the comic books that were still living in the show that are dead, all sorts of changes. But, like, the daughter dying for the governor, and if you read the Rise of the Governor book, like, she plays a major role in why the governor is why he is. Mm-hmm. And her dying is just, her being, like, alive was that last strand that he had on reality. There goes our set.
Our props fell.
But now that he doesn't have his daughter anymore, that he doesn't need to relate to reality anymore. He can go as crazy as he wants and just ruin the prison crew's day.
From what I have gathered from previews and promos, I know that the governor isn't, at least from what I gathered, he's not back for the beginning of this season. Like, it's sort of them, and it's almost like it's a new start. Like, a new season, like, it's kind of a new start, but this seems to be like almost a fresh start for the show. With the prison, they have a whole new group of characters because of all the people from Woodbury, and I'm excited to see sort of new group dynamics, and I'm excited to see both how... I know that Robert Kirkman has said that this is his favorite season yet. Right. And I'm excited to see how, because this is sort of about the dissolution of the prison, because I know that it's apparently, I mean, as you said, I'm kind of losing track of what I'm saying here, but apparently the prison is sort of the dissolution of the prison here.
Right. But, like, from all the stuff that I've read, heard, and everything, and I know that I think we just get way too involved in just who's casting as who, almost at a point where it spoils the show and movies for ourselves. But from what I've read, that one of the characters that is introduced is a character that is introduced in the comic books after the group leaves the prison. Mm-hmm. So after their showdown with the governor and everyone, there's this group that they meet and they find out about this new safe location in Washington, D.C.
I did know that.
This girl that was recently cast, she plays a kind of significant role and stuck in this love triangle and stuff. But, I mean, she's like major-ish for a little bit, and then she just sort of falls by the wayside in the comic book. But, like, I really have a feeling that we could see kind of like what happened in season 2, where we have two completely different tones
for this season.
Where, like, I think the first half of season 4 could be them at the prison and then ending with the final showdown with the governor.
I could see that happening.
And then them trying to go to their next place. Mm-hmm. And then surviving again, dealing with the elements and everything.
Yeah, and I'm excited also for the spin-off that's coming in a couple years. Just want to mention that really quickly. Yeah. There's a spin-off that's coming out in 2015. And what I'm hoping for it is that, we were talking about this one time, and I really hope that the Walking Dead spin-off is almost completely different from the series now, only because I want them to go to a foreign country. I want them,
or even something that's like completely separate from the South, like the Northeast, where it's like super cold.
I want new culture. I want new group dynamics. I want new types of zombies. I want new locations. I want different feel, like I want the dialogue to feel different, and I want there to be, but I want the same tension that the whole series has had. But I think it would just be almost fascinating to have it take place in like Asia or Europe or somewhere, even like, I don't know, Africa. Like, I feel like that could be really, really cool. Right. But I have a feeling that they're going to be like it's going to take place in like Maryland or like something like in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, I have a couple theories of what they could do. I mean, there's the Walking Dead game from Telltale that they did, which was fantastic. Honestly, one of the best things I've ever, like, experienced in my life. I don't know how else to describe it, but I was, like, this close to tears at the end. It was heart-wrenching. But, like, there's that route that they could do. They could do something just completely separate on the West Coast, and then I'm really hoping they don't do like a crossover episode. I really don't want them to
do a crossover episode.
Also, I'm thinking maybe since there's already material that it's based on, and Robert Kirk was just trying to be really, really tricky, we could be seeing a TV show based on The Rise of the Governor and The Road to Woodbury, which could be interesting because...
See, I don't like the Governor. I think he's... I like the character and I like the actor, but I would never want to, see a whole show about... See, and Woodbury, those episodes in season 3 that were all about
really
Woodbury...
boring.
They weren't... I don't think they were, boring, but, I like the group. I love Rick.
You've grown attached to those characters.
When Rick and Carol and Herschel and all of them aren't in the episode, it's a little, disappointing because you're like, oh, yay, Walking Dead Sunday, and then it's they kill 2 zombies, and then it's dialogue for an hour.
But, I think in this season, also, I'm really, really excited for the bigger role of Tyrese, and he was briefly introduced in this, and he kind of has this really good dynamic in the comic book that I really want to see them play with. But, I mean, I'm really looking forward to the season. I don't know exactly what they're going to have in store for it because they've just strayed so much from the source material and everything.
Yeah, as before even season 3 started, I'm sure it changed completely from what you were expecting. But Walking Dead on Sunday, we're excited. Next Sunday.
We're going to watch it. Yeah. You guys should too. It's AMC. Now that Breaking Bad's done, what else do you have to do on Sunday? Walking Dead. Catch up. I think there's 20 episodes.
Yeah, catch up really now. Not that much.
Yeah. Catch up now if you haven't. We'll be back.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, bye.
Everything we've been working so hard to keep out just found its way in.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Adam Murray.
And my name is Gabe Cohen, and I'm here today to speak about the film Murph The Protector, which was premiered this weekend at the State Theater in State College. Murph the Protector is a documentary based on the honor, courage, and commitment of the Navy SEAL Lieutenant Michael P. Murphy, who gave his life for his men in 2005 and was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor in 2007. Scott McTavish, the writer and director of the film, was here in State College this weekend to premiere the film about the brave and spirited Penn State graduate to a packed audience of veterans, ROTC members, students, and many more at the downtown State Theater. We learn about his early life in high school, his training as a lifeguard, and how he acquired the nickname The Protector. We learn about his military career and his love of what he did for his country as a Navy SEAL. Family and friends contribute their personal and heartfelt experiences with Michael. An incredibly brave man with unwavering loyalty to his country and devotion to duty, Michael P. Murphy will live on as a great hero of our time.
Now, what's your kind of experience with this film?
Well, I was able to work at the premiere. I met Scott. He was a great guy. Mm-hmm. He really cared about his country. He's actually a veteran himself. And Michael was a graduate of Penn State, so the turnout was incredible. There was many veterans there, and we got to speak with a bunch of them. And they felt that the movie really exemplified what a Navy SEAL, the courage that they have. And my personal experience watching the film, it was very heartfelt and very emotional. There's a lot of emotion in the theater, and listening to his mother, his father, his friends, his aunts and uncles speak about him, you could just tell what kind of guy Michael
was and stuff. Yeah. I have a class down in the State Theater actually, and I've seen advertisements that they've had for this, and I never really understood what the actual plot of the movie was. So it's interesting to see what these people go through, and it's just very sad that sometimes people have to sacrifice their own lives.
Exactly. And you could really see the impact that he had. They founded a scholarship for him at the high school that he went to, and they were able to work in a new a doctor. He was a new character to the film, and he actually was the first guy to get the Michael Murphy scholarship, which was very meaningful for him. And we got to listen to his point of view and what Michael means to him.
So, what did the director speak during the premiere?
Yes. Afterwards, a veteran went up. He introduced Scott, and Scott talked about the movie, talked about the production, what it took. The budget for it was very, very. It wasn't a huge budget film.
Yeah, very small.
So he had to work very hard from place to place, interviewing in very short amounts of time in small spaces.
What did he give why he wanted to do this story or anything any background for?
Well, this was in 2005 in Afghanistan. This is basically the gist of the movie. There was 17 Navy SEALs were killed in combat, 4 on the ground, and then there was a rescue mission and the helicopter was shot down. Mm-hmm. So basically it was retelling the story about these 17 men who were very important, brave Navy SEALs, and they lost their lives in combat for our country. So
wow, I mean, some of these stories are just very
intense,
very intense, very touching. You know, sometimes you don't know what to say afterward. Mm-hmm. You don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's definitely a movie that I definitely want to see.
Absolutely, and I recommend it for all people.
Yep. So that is all for us here at Reeltv. We hope you had a great time with us today, and we will see you next time.